Good afternoon. I'd like to call the meeting of the Board of Public Utilities for the City of Santa Rosa to order. If we may have a roll call, please.
Board Member Wright?
Here.
Board Member Sierra?
Here.
Board Member Grable?
Here.
Board Member Bartholow? Board Member Badenfort? Vice Chair Arnone?
Here.
And Chair Galvin?
Here.
Let the record reflect that all board members are present with the exception of Board Members Bartholow and Badenfort.
Thank you. Are there any statements of abstention by board members? Seeing none, that'll take care of that. We have no study session today, so we'll move to item 4.1, which is approval of the minutes for the April 4th meeting. At this time, we'll take public comment on item 4.1. If you wish to make a comment, please move to the podium. Seeing no one, those minutes will be approved and entered. We'll now move to item 5.1, which is our first staff briefing. Director Burke.
Thank you, Chair Galvin and members of the board. Our first staff briefing will be the water and recycled water supply update. And Deputy Director Water Resources Peter Martin and Deputy Director Water Reuse Operations Mike Prinz will be making the presentation.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, Chair Galvin and members of the board. Peter Martin, Deputy Director, Water Resources. I'll kick off the beginning of this presentation. Not much has changed in terms of storage in Lake Pillsbury. As of today, it's about 57,000 acre feet in storage, which is right at the amount that they can actually store, given that the gates are expected to remain open throughout the year due to seismic issues in that dam. It should be noted that they did file for a temporary variance in their FERC, or Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, related flows. That will allow them at some point this summer to have the flexibility to reduce the flows going into the east branch of the Russian River, going into Lake Mendocino. They have the flexibility to go down to about 25 cubic feet per second, in addition to their contracted flows for the Potter Valley Irrigation District. And so they will have right now it's out for public comment, but it is expected within the next month FERC will weigh in on that request, and it's likely that those flows will be diminished coming into the upper Russian River. I should mention too that if that variance is granted, it would run through the term of October 1st. Same goes for Lake Mendocino. Storage is right at where it was about last year. As of today, storage is just a little over 100,000 acre feet, and now is under their forecast informed reservoir operations storage pool. They have the ability to store up to 112,000 acre feet if it's managed appropriately beginning this month. So I should note too that Sonoma Water did file a temporary change petition on April 19th. This is similar to what they did last year. If you'll recall, they have a biological opinion that is in conflict with their in-stream flows mandated by their water rights. So they are requesting to reduce the flows to be able to be protective of those endangered fish species. So when that is granted, in beginning this month, they would be able to drop their mandated flows in the upper Russian River down to 125 cubic feet per second, currently required to release 185, and in the lower 70 cubic feet per second, down from 125 cubic feet per second. And the same goes for Lake Sonoma. Storage is just at their maximum amount allowable under the forecast informed reservoir operations as well, 263,000 acre feet. Looking very good, very much just like last year. So I did want to note, we're ramping up for Water Awareness Month. May is Water Awareness Month. We'll be taking a proclamation to the City Council on May 21st Alongside that, there will be 3 water use efficiency award winners announced at the same time. We've already begun producing local advertisements and social media posts related to Water Awareness Month, and we have several other exciting events planned in the month of May. Don't forget that the Eco-Friendly Garden Tour is occurring on May 18th. It will be from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. All around Sonoma County, but 11 of the 26 gardens are right here in Santa Rosa, so you can go and visit those yourself. There's also some of those that are posted virtually too, if you're just interested in taking a look at some of those gardens as well. I guess at least 2 of those are actually award winners, or excuse me, one of those is one of the award winners this year too, that will be on that garden tour. We'll also be promoting our irrigation scheduling tool. If you recall, last year we launched this through the Saving Water Partnership. It allows folks to go right to that webpage, pick their location in Sonoma County, and get specific irrigation recommendations for where they live. So as you can see that map to the right, you can click on your service area and you'll get specialized watering recommendations because obviously people are going to start irrigating here pretty quickly, hopefully if the weather continues to be as pleasant as it is right now. With that, I'll hand it over to Deputy Director Mike Prenz to close out the presentation.
Thanks, Peter. Good afternoon, Chair Galvin, members of the board. Mike Prenz, Deputy Director, Regional Water Reuse Operations. You may be happy to hear that I only have one slide today, which is a slide that you have seen versions of in the past. And really what I want to draw your attention to is the convergence of the red storage trend with the black storage trend. The black line is last year's storage. Red is this year's storage, and they have converged. I don't think it normally, the trends converge as much as they have recently. I attribute that really to 3 things. One is the weather. 2 is Calpine's willingness to work with the city in terms of accepting more than contract flows to help us manage our storage curve. And then the 3rd factor is our reclamation superintendent, Andrew Romero, has continued to refine his spreadsheet modeling skills, and I think it's showing in his ability to forecast where storage is going to be based on weather and flows to Calpine, which I'm very happy about. But nonetheless, we are kind of in a state of equilibrium right now. That may change a little bit with the rain that we're going to get Friday night and into Saturday. But we do still have available storage capacity, and we're not foreseeing any issue with the amount of rain that's in the forecast right now. That's really all I have for the recycled water storage update today. So with that, Peter and I are available for questions.
Thank you. We'll open it up for any questions from the board. I think we're good. Thanks for the report. We'll now take public comment on item 5.1. If you wish to make a comment, please move to the podium. Seeing no one, that'll take care of item 5.1. Thanks again, gentlemen. 5.2 is being continued to our next meeting on May 16th, so we'll be holding that one in advance. Next is our consent calendar. We have one item on the consent calendar.
I'll move adoption of the consent calendar.
Second. We have a motion by Vice Chair Arnone, seconded by Board Member Grable to approve the consent calendar. This time we'll take public comments on item 6.1. If you wish to make a comment, please move to the podium. Seeing no one rise, may we have a roll call vote, please?
Board Member Wright?
Aye.
Board Member Sierra?
Aye.
Board Member Grable?
Aye.
Vice Chair Arnone?
Aye.
Chair Galvin?
Aye.
And that the consent calendar passes with 5 affirmative votes, with board members Badenfort and Bartholow absent.
Thank you. We have one report item, item 7.1. Director Burke.
Thank you, Chair Galvin and members of the board. Item 7.1 is a contract award, Laguna Treatment Plant Filter Cells 9 through 14 Valve and Actuator Replacement Project. And Chris Balanese, Associate Civil Engineer with our Capital Projects team, will be making the presentation.
Good afternoon.
Hello, Chair Galvin, members of the board. My name is Chris Balanese, Associate Civil Engineer with Capital Projects Engineering. Today I am presenting the proposed contract award for the Laguna Treatment Plant Filter Cells 9 through 14 Valve and Actuator Replacement Project. As stated within the project title, this project takes place at the Laguna Treatment Plant within the filter facility, specifically among cells 9 through 14, highlighted in purple here. Filtration is an integral process in the Laguna Treatment Plant's tertiary treatment system, situated between the secondary clarifiers and the disinfection basin. The picture shown is of the filter cell operating deck. The filters are composed of 14 anthracite media-filled cells which capture suspended solids from the clarifier effluent. Each filter cell functions by a series of valves controlled by electronic actuators. Filter cells 1 through 8 were installed in 1989, replacement occurring in 2016 under project C01829. Filter cells 9 through 14 were constructed in 1994. The old valves and actuators are not seating properly, leaking and creating operational issues. The components have reached the end of their useful life and have become obsolete. The first phase of the project, with filter cells 1 through 8, utilized Henry Pratt Company valves and K-Torque actuators. The picture shown is of a K-Torque valve actuator and extension. In order for mechanical consistency across the filter cells, the same manufacturer and model numbers were requested for filter cells 9 through 14. On September 21st, 2023, the Board of Public Utilities approved by resolution number 1327 a sole source contract specification for Henry Pratt Company valves and K-Torque valve actuators for this project. The picture shown is of a used 24-inch valve. This project will replace the filter valves and actuators serving filter cells 9 through 14. This work will include replacement of 24-inch valves, actuators, and extensions serving the filters and backwash systems, as well as 8-inch valves, actuators, and extensions for the backwash air system. Construction is anticipated for 2025. Once the plans and specifications were complete, we posted an invitation for bids to Planet Bids January 19th, 2024. The project is the first subject to the Community Workforce Project Labor Agreement requirements. The posting was visible to the general public with 13 contractors registered to bid. 4 addenda were processed, extending the posting to 8 weeks. A total of 4 bids were received on March 13th, 2024, with 1 contractor considered local. This slide is the project bid summary from March 13th, 2024. The engineer's estimate is shown on the second row, column 2, as $1.6 million. Below the engineer's estimate are the 4 bids received. All bids were well above the engineer's estimate, with 3 of the 4 bids consistently within 10% of each other. The low bid was from T&T Industrial Contractors Incorporated of Sacramento and was 64.4% over the engineer's estimate. T&T is licensed and California Department of Industrial Relations registered. Due to the large disparity between the engineer's estimate and the lowest bid, there's been significant review. One factor that could have contributed to the inflated bids was the engineer's estimate being prepared in December 2022, and not updated at the time of posting in January 2024. Although, as shown on the slide, processing the numbers using a 7% inflation factor only raises the estimate nominally. Another factor contributing to the inflated bids could be due to the large material procurement lead time. The valves and actuators specified in the plans are specialty products, with some estimated at a year from order to manufacture. The contractors could have potentially projected their labor and material costs out for the duration of the project with respect to the material procurement. However, in order to account for the delay, the subject invitation for bids was modified to contain language for a delayed start date. The other, less-known factor which could have contributed to the inflated bids was the impact from the Community Workforce Project Labor Agreement requirements. The design team and staff have no past experience with said agreement and thus were not able to account for its pricing impact. This project is the first data point for the city to be able to project the impacts of the PLA for future capital improvement projects. We cannot say with absolute certainty the degree of which any one factor or combination thereof impacted the engineer's estimate. We can say with certainty that the filter cells are an important part of the water treatment process, and the bid abstract discussions have yielded feedback that this project still needs to move forward. With that said, it is recommended by our office that the Board of Public Utilities by motion award contract number C02096, Laguna Treatment Plant Filter Cells 9 through 14 Valve and Actuator Replacement Project in the amount of $2,674,200 to the lowest responsible bidder, T&T Industrial Contractors Incorporated of Sacramento, California, authorizing a total contract amount, and approve a 12% contingency, authorizing a total contract amount of $2,995,104. Questions?
Thank you, Mr. Bolognese. I'll open it up to questions from the board. Board Member Wright.
Thank you for the presentation. My thought on this is the engineer's estimate is just that, an engineer's estimate, and I think it's more important that we had confirming contractors for the bid. Therefore, I'll support this. I'm happy that we got 4 bids, and so thank you very much.
Other comments from the board? Board Member Grable?
Could you pull the slide back up real quick? Thank you for the presentation. The slide, I just couldn't remember in my head the level of disparity between the bids.
Oh no. That one?
Okay, yeah, so they were all fairly, besides the one at the end.
3 of
Okay.
them were very close, and one
Right,
was
right,
way
right.
out in space.
That was all I usually like to see is, whether there's a lot of variation or a little. Thank you so much.
I too will be supporting this. I think it's unfortunate that our local contractor, who was one of the three, didn't get the job, but that's the way it goes, and we did get 3 very competitive bids. So I'm supportive. Vice Chair Arnone?
Yeah, again, thank you for the presentation, and I agree we don't have a lot of choice on this. I'm concerned about this being our first data point when it comes to PLAs, and I think it certainly merits close monitoring of how costing changes and how prices change over time. I actually had a question about the actual project itself. Now, we're also doing a major upgrade on our UV treatment facilities out there. Is this upstream or downstream of that? And I'm assuming this will have no impact, or the new facility will have no impact on these filters. So could you just clarify that?
So this is upstream of the UV facility, and at this point in time, if the valves and actuators were able to be at the facility, say tomorrow, there might be some musical trucks that would have to take place and a lot of coordination in that respect. But due to the lead time on the materials, it is believed by plant staff that the underground aspect of the UV, which is in direct proximity to the filter facility, will be open enough to where the impact from one contractor to another would probably be reduced to a minimal level.
Good, good. Okay, thank you for clarifying that. That's it.
Any other board member questions or comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move that the Board of Public Utilities by motion award contract number C02096 Laguna Treatment Plant Filter Cells 9-14 valve and actual replacement in the amount of $2,674,200 to the lowest responsible bidder, TNT Industrial Contractors, Inc. of Sacramento, California. Approve a 12% contract contingency and authorize a total contract amount of $2,995,104.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion by Board Member Wright, seconded by Board Member Grable. This time we'll open it up for public comment on item 7.1. If you wish to make a comment, please move to the podium. Seeing no one, may we have a roll call vote, please?
Board Member Wright?
Aye.
Board Member Sierra?
Aye. Aye.
Board Member Grable?
Aye.
Vice Chair Arnone?
Aye.
And Chair Galvin?
Aye.
And that passes with 5 affirmative votes, with Board Members Badenfort and Bartholomew absent.
Thank you. Item 8 on the agenda is public comments on non-agenda matters. If you wish to make a public comment, please move to the podium. Seeing no one. Item 9, we have no referrals. We have no written communications. I believe we have 2 subcommittee reports. Board Member Wright, do you want to start?
Okay. So the Water Conservation Subcommittee met on April 17th. The subcommittee received a presentation and unanimously approved the 3 Water Use Efficiency Award winners for 2024. The awards will be presented to the winners at the City Council meeting on May 21. In addition, Council will also be adopting a proclamation on May 21 designating May as Water Awareness Month. The second item provided an overview and progress update on our grant-funded direct install program for high-efficiency toilets and fixtures. Staff discussed progress to date on the first phase of the project, during which has been replaced 1,243 toilets to date, and provided an update on the expected additional grant funding from the U.S. Bureau of Reclamation grant, which would fund a proposed second phase of the program that could replace up to 2,500 toilets. The third item was a review of Santa Rosa Water Use Efficiency Program metrics for 2023 and a preview of upcoming water use efficiency events and workshops. Staff discussed the successes of various customer programs in 2023, including our Cash for Grass program, and also highlighted how automatic metering infrastructure is assisting customers with quickly identifying and fixing leaks in their homes and businesses. And that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll report out on the contract review subcommittee. We met on May 1st. Yesterday, we reviewed 2 contracts, and they were unanimously recommended for approval. First one's a proposed professional service agreement with the Center for Natural Lands Management for serving as the endowment and conservation easement holder for the proposed Kelly Farm Mitigation Bank. The second was a proposed agreement with Sonoma County Water Agency for the purchase of phosphorus credits. The agreement will allow the Water Department to purchase 16,049 phosphorus credits to comply with the treatment plant's MPDES permit requirement of no net loading for phosphorus. Both of those agreements will come to the full board in the next few meetings. Any questions or comments regarding the committee reports? If not, we'll open it up for public comment on item number 11. If you wish to make a comment, please move to the podium. Seeing no one, that'll take care of the subcommittee reports. Any board member reports? Okay, then we will move to the director's report.
Thank you, Chair Galvin and members of the board. I have a few things I wanted to update the board on today. First, I wanted to just give a summary of our Earth Day event. Over the weekend of 4/20 and 4/21, Santa Rosa Water supported 5 Earth Day creek cleanup events. The Stormwater and Creeks team hosted their annual Earth Day on the Greenway cleanup in partnership with the Russian River Keeper. That cleanup occurred on Saturday, April 20th, and we had 35 volunteers, and they collected 3 cubic yards of trash. And then the Creeks team also supported cleanups on Ducker Creek and Roseland Creek on Saturday. And then on Earth Day, actual Earth Day, April 22nd, the team also worked with the Summerfield Waldorf School and NOAA Fisheries to do cleanups along Santa Rosa Creek. And so between that entire weekend, from Saturday through Monday, we had 110 volunteers participate and collected over 9 cubic yards of trash from our creeks. So a very good event, and a big thank you to the Stormwater and Creeks team for their work on that. Excuse me. Also on Saturday, April 20th, we had our 15th annual Earth Day on stage, and it was a great event. We hosted 60 exhibitors and believe there were a few thousand attendees that came out to the event. We had booths both from our Stormwater and Creeks team, our water use efficiency team. We also had our hydration station available. New for this year, the festival was able to reduce waste by using, we had a partnership with Sparkle Reusables, and so we had no single-use foodware containers. So that was a great improvement. And I just wanted to say a big thank you to the team and to all the city employees and city departments that volunteered to help make this a fabulous Earth Day event, again, with over a few thousand attendees. So it was a great event. I wanted to let you know that in front of you today, you have a document that is a case study that highlights Santa Rosa Water's ongoing participation in a PG&E program known as the Base Interruptible Program. This is a demand response program. Since 2009, the Laguna Treatment Plant has been participating in this program, and it helps ensure the reliability of the state's energy grid When there are days when the energy grid is stressed, they reach out to large energy users like the Laguna Treatment Plant. And I believe the board is aware that the Laguna Treatment Plant is the highest energy demand in all of Sonoma County. So we are the biggest energy user. And we can participate in these types of programs to voluntarily curtail our usage and reduce the load on the grid. So when we get these requests from the state, our lead plant operator can have as little as 30 minutes to decide whether we can participate, to acknowledge the request, and then begin doing several operational changes to make sure that we can get off of the energy grid and start using all our own power. Through this program, we've earned over $700,000 in revenue. And the last 2 years, we exceeded about $100,000 per year in revenue. And participation requires lots of resourcefulness by our treatment plant operators. And I think this article is a very nice way to showcase how our team has found innovative ways to be as efficient as possible by reducing our energy demand and really being stewards of our ratepayer dollars. So I was very happy to see that we are in this, and there is a case study, and we provided a copy to all of the board. I also wanted to let the board know that we actually got some pretty exceptional feedback from members of the public related to a leak that occurred on the evening of April 5th. We received a call that there was a possible leak on Westmont Place, and our standby utility system operator went out and confirmed that it was a leaking 2-inch water service that served 3 addresses. The leak crew fully replaced everything by April 9th. But what was really interesting is that we received a large number of emails and calls from the public who were observing the crew and witnessing their dedication, expertise, professionalism, level of service, efficiency, and how they worked so well, and the skill set. And they just wanted to note that city crews often go unrecognized, so they felt compelled to express their gratitude and praise. And specifically, I wanted to thank our senior utility system operators, Benjamin Alexander and Alex Bauman, and our utility system operators, Franz Hallmeyer, Frankie Davenport, and Abram Ayala, for their exceptional work and service to our public. It is rare that we receive so many phone calls and emails, and so I just wanted to share that with the board because it was really impressive. And then last, I also wanted to note that in mid-April, the drain line for our recycled activated sludge pump number 3 out at the treatment plant started to leak and then burst, and the treatment plant operators and the maintenance team jumped on it quickly. This was on a Friday at 3 in the afternoon, and were able to respond so quickly that they prevented any of the sludge from getting into the storm drain at the treatment plant. They were able to isolate it quickly and repair and put it back in working order that same day. So a big kudos to the treatment plant operators and the maintenance staff out at the treatment plant for their quick work on this one as well. And that is my report, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions for the director? Look forward to reading that case study, but congratulations. Looks like that's been an excellent program. We'll now open it up for public comment on item 13. If you wish to make a comment, please move to the podium. Seeing no one, that concludes our agenda for today, so we are adjourned.
Under a half hour.